We are on to chapter 7 of Claude on the Slopes by Alex T. Smith. Chapter 7. A huge sheet of snow slipped down from the pointiest peak and rolled down the slope in a giant ball. Avalanche! Cried Sidney Snood before he got wrapped up in a giant snowball like a hot dog in a bun. The other skiers leapt out of the way, but down at the bottom of the mountain, Sir Bobblysock was too busy reading a magazine to notice the avalanche coming. And look at him! He's in the big snowball. Look at there's little Bobblysocks down here. Splat! The giant avalanche snowball splattered all over the log cabin. Sir Bobblysock and Sir Sidney Snood were covered right up to their pom-poms in cold, wet snow. Help, they mumbled. Look at Sir Bobblysock. There was a big problem. Sidney Snood was the only mountain rescue person, and because he was right at that very moment, completely covered in snow, nobody knew how to rescue him and Sir Bobblysock. Nobody, of course, except Claude. But how was he going to get down the tallest mountain on these silly skis, he wondered. Then he had an idea. Ah-ha! See, with this finger? Ah-ha! Off went Claude's skis. Over his shoulders went his ski boots, and then he took out his tea tray from his beret. Remember that big beret that carries everything? And whoosh! Off went Claude down the mountain. Whoosh! He was at the snow-covered cabin in seconds. Now all he needed to do was dig Sir Bobblysock and Sidney Snood out. But how? His paws were too dainty to do much digging. Oh, look at the paws. Claude snapped his fingers. He remembered Sir Bobblysock's silver shovel prize. He rooted around in his beret until he found it, and then he dug and he dug and he dug. Snow flew everywhere, and poor Claude's arms ached. Eventually, he managed to dig down to Sir Bobblysock and Sir Sidney Snood and help them clamber up out of the snow. Clamber up means sort of like climb, right? Look at that big backpack still on him. The crowd who had gathered around to watch clapped softly. 3 quiet cheers for Claude, whispered someone. And everybody whispered in their quietest indoor voices, "Hooray! Hooray! Hooray!" There it is. Claude went quite pink. Then he poured Sidney a nice hot cup of tea from his emergency tea set and popped Sir Bobblysock in the heated foot spa. There he is, getting all warmed up from being buried in the snow to bring up his body temperature. Did you notice how pink his face was? Chapter 8. When Sidney Snood had stopped shivering, he clapped Claude on the back. "What a brave and clever dog you are," he said. "Won't you come and live in the snowy mountains and help me rescue people?" Claude thought about it for a moment. Whizzing down the slopes was terrific fun, but he liked living in his nice warm house on Waggy Avenue, too. He looked down at Sir Bobblysock. All the color had gone from his face. Claude thought that they had better go home so Sir Bobblysock could put on his pajamas and recover properly from his hot water bottle and a box of chocolates. He explained all of that to Sidney, who said that he understood. He's thinking of his friend's feelings. By this time, it was getting late, and Claude needed to get back before Mr. and Mrs. Shiny Shoes came home from work. So he put the foot spa under his beret and said goodbye to Sidney Snood. Then Claude and Sir Bobblysock hopped onto their tea tray and skedaddled home through the snow. Look at them skedaddling. I like that descriptive word. If I was collecting words, I'd be keeping skedaddle. There it is right there. Can you say it? Skedaddled. Sounds sort of fun to say. Later that evening, Mr. and Mrs. Shiny Shoes had a surprise when they came home from work. "Goodness," said Mr. Shiny Shoes, "I wonder where all this snow has come from." "And I wonder why Claude is fast asleep with his feet in a foot spa," said Mrs. Shiny Shoes. "Well, I'm sure I don't know," said Mr. Shiny Shoes, "but we do, don't we?" Look at his blanket. They're resting up. Look at those boots. And that is the end of Claude on the Slope.